Right, pound sterling. So I tip players who should be on the move this summer, and I make absolutely no friends in doing this. But Bournemouth fans, you know what happens. You have a great season, and of course, everybody sets their sights on your players, the ones who've made the difference, and that is certainly going to happen this summer, come what may. And I think it's an open secret. Well, it seems to be that Milos Kerkez will be on the way to Liverpool. Left back. Andy Robertson's still very good at 31, but Kerkez is 21. And interestingly, Richard Hughes was the Bournemouth sporting director when they signed Kerkez, and now he's the Liverpool sporting director. Bournemouth want £45 million for him. I think he'll go for something like 35 million, something like that. But he's had a heck of a season.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I would just say this, life in the old dog yet, Andy Robertson.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely
Let's
agree.
not get carried away. He's been a fantastic servant to them. There's plenty of football and life left in him yet.
But you've got to look ahead, and they're going to have a lot of games to play again next season. And by the way, while we're talking about it, I really apologise, Bournemouth fans, but Antoine Semenyo, he could go there as well.
I love him.
In a sort of,
really
job
like
lot deal, if you like.
I really like him.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Nightmare to play against.
Oh, what a handful. And he's one of these guys you don't really know what he's going to do, because he's got, I think there's an element sometimes he doesn't really know what he's going to do himself. I think he's been terrific this year. Great. A really good watch. I enjoy watching him, mate.
I mean, one thing is Bournemouth are talking about £75 million, so
that's a bit,
not having that.
Yeah, if I was Bournemouth, I'd be talking about £75 million too.
Yeah, absolutely. But if I was Liverpool, I'd be looking at 45, something like that. Who else might be on the move? Semina Dingra at Brighton's become a bit part player this season. Had a fantastic season, didn't he, the previous season? They've got Matoma and Minter who can play wide, and I think that he will want more regular football. Where would he go? Well, Graham Potter actually signed him for £6 million. It was really Roberto De Zerbi who played him, but Potter was in charge when he signed him, so you could see maybe West Ham, or you could see him actually going to join De Zerbi in Marseille.
Of course you could.
Would be a decent move.
I mentioned one earlier and you looked at me and raised your eyebrows, and clearly Kevin Hatchard doesn't think it will happen at all, because he thinks Harry Kane will stay in Bayern Munich. If I was Liverpool, I'd test the water with Harry Kane.
Would you?
Yes, I would.
Do you think he's their sort of player?
I think Harry
Well, he scores goals, so he would be.
Yeah, I think Harry Kane would score a phenomenal amount of goals in that Liverpool team. I really do. I mean, he's not going to come back to Arsenal, right? We get that. He's not going to come back to City because of Haaland. If he was going to come back to anybody, I could see him in a Liverpool jersey.
Could you see him in a Manchester United shirt?
I don't. Not this Manchester United squad, funnily enough, just because of where they are. Isn't it amazing we're talking about that? We're now saying players would think twice about coming to Manchester United because of where the club is at this moment in time. And it's factually correct, because of course they would, because Harry Kane is not going to leave, for example, using Harry Kane as an example, he's not going to leave a team that's in the Champions League every season to come to a team that might not be in Europe.
No. Except that he'll be 32 and it'll be one more big move. Perhaps his last. Probably his last big move. That is
why I thought it was a little bit early for Kev to shoot it down, because I don't think it's another big move at the end of his contract. I might be wrong.
Not when he's 34.
Correct.
No. One more for you, and I hate offending North East football fans, Newcastle supporters. It's not you. It's not Isak. Okay. But I think that Sunderland are in danger of losing a couple of players, one of whom is Bellingham, Job Bellingham. Chelsea, Arsenal, a lot of German sides have been interested in him. Look, he's made 80 league appearances already. He's played 35 times this season. Box-to-box midfielder. Yes. You know what I think would be perfect for Job Bellingham? And I know the glitz and the glamour of Arsenal or Chelsea sounds absolutely fantastic. But Crystal Palace went and bought Adam Ward.
Yeah.
Similar sort of type of player. But for me, they're still a little bit light in midfield. Much like Will Hughes, he's 30 this month. Jefferson Lerma's going to be 31. And he just fits the profile at Palace. They brought in Romain Essa as well from Millwall. And I think he'd be terrific there.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. Well, you know what I thought about Palace at the weekend. Very impressive. Middle of the park. Yeah, Lerma, Wharton. You could see him in there. Yeah.
Sunderland played 1.5 million for him.
What a bit of business.
Oh.
What a bit of business. And I think a lot of that might depend on what happens with Sunderland in the playoffs, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it does. But you'd have to say there will be targets, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
Chris Rigg is another obvious target as well, but they're asking £40 million from him apparently, which puts him out of Everton's price range, or so we are led to believe.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.